welcome or welcome back to the channel. Today will be another installment of my unofficial building Newcrest series where we will be building a starter home for a couple this time rather than just for a single sim. But before we get started, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that we can become friends. Also, feel free to chat with me about anything in the comment section below, and thank you for stopping by. So the show is pretty much come together rather quickly, and that is because if you watched last week's video, or if you caught a peek at the build right next to this, it's the same exact shell floor plan build as the one that we did last week, except that one was for a single sim with a 20,000 simoleon budget. So this one's going to be for a couple with a 22,000 simoleon budget. So without further ado, I just went ahead and got started on the inside. Obviously with that type of budget, we can get a little bit more, but not really much. So I went ahead and I used those same base game cabinets and the same appliances that I used from the in the build last week. Everything else is the same. So windows, doors are from the birthday update. I really like the way they look and they suited this build nicely. So we went with the same ones here. So let me talk about the family. So I'm envisioning this for a couple, maybe a newly married couple. Maybe they're fresh out of college, maybe a year or two into their careers. So they decided to buy a home and they found that they were expecting. So if you recall from last week's video, that was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and we made the secondary bedroom into an office. This time we're going to be making the secondary bedroom into a nursery for the baby. So I thought, let's see what we can do with 22,000 simoleons, because since the baby isn't here yet, they're not counted in the simoleon budget, I guess you could say, for for moving in. I tried to do some different colors with the interior walls, but I just went with this grayish color that I use all the time. And then I'm going to fiddle and change the cabinets a little bit. Um, but yeah, so I was able to get this build done with $5 to spare, so I was very proud of myself. So this house totaled 20,495 simoleons, and I did not have to use debug or anything like that for landscaping, and I think we got away with that because the lot was so small. Speaking of lot size, if you can't see it up there, this is the other 20 by 15 lot at the very top of Newcrest, the oak alcove lot. And this build is already on the gallery, ready for you to download. So yeah, if you like it, that is. I'm not gonna force you to download anything. But anywho, like I said, the outside's pretty much complete. We did update the siding to the siding that I chose to use in the end. I'm going around and putting some curtains in here because I'm like, okay, well, we have a little bit simoleons. If I was able to do the last home and have curtains, then, we should be able to get that done in this one too. Now I'm guessing, second guessing myself, did the last home have curtains? I don't know, but this is this week's build. We're not talking about the yellow house. Okay, so going here, I kind of wanted to use this sofa from the base game, but I also wanted to have a 3-seater versus a 2-seater because this is for a growing family. So yeah, that's going to stay there for now, but I'm going to eventually change it once we get deeper into the video. I really wanted to use this bed from Businesses and Hobbies, but I think it was just a little bit too expensive for what, for the rest of the furniture that we needed in the house. And I say that, but you're gonna laugh when you see what bed I'm gonna switch to next. But just know that I'm not going to keep that bed just because we were quickly running out of simoleons. I am gonna keep these curtains though. However, these are the curtains from the not Desert Look, Modern Lux kit. I'm just going to change them from a cream color to this white color. And here I am using a bed from, what is this, Life and Death. I really wanted to use that bed, but that bed I want to say was like 1,500 simoleons. It was quite expensive. Um, and then I also just couldn't find a wall color to like make it work to my liking. So yeah, the room is going to stay this dark blue color, but I am going to change the bed. So at this point, I'm like, okay, let's see if we can use this bed, and let's go ahead and get the bathroom furniture situated. So I knew we needed a tub because the baby was going to eventually turn into an infant. So I went ahead and used this shower tub combo from Parenthood. And then for the cabinet, I just used a cabinet from, what is that? From Dream Home Decorator. Yeah, Dream Home Decorator. So I'm going ahead and I'm putting a towel rack, and I was going to put a robe, but I decided to swap it out for my favorite bathroom painting instead. So we went ahead and did that. And now I was just feeling fancy and like, okay, we can put rugs in every single room. So I went ahead and I placed one by the front door, as well as I'm going to find one for this bedroom here. And I think putting down this rug is what's going to prompt me to go ahead and change the bed, or maybe not. I went ahead and put a little bit of clutter items just so that the room didn't look so bare. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the nursery because I realized I only had about 2,000 simoleons left, or is that 1,000 something? Anyways, we were getting down to the end of it. So at this point is where I decided to pull the rocking chair into the nursery, and then I went ahead and put the baby playmat in the living room in its place. I know the baby can't use it as an infant, but it definitely can, no, as a newborn, but it definitely can use it when it's an infant. So I went ahead and put that there. For now, we can just pretend like it's a bouncy seat or something like that. Okay, so I did struggle a little bit in the color scheme for this room, but I just drew inspiration from the curtains. So it's like the sky, like an outside scenery type situation. And then to save a little bit of money, I just used the wall decals of the clouds and stuff like that. So I think the nursery turned out very well. And in my mind, that is also a gender neutral nursery. So yeah, I was happy with that. I wanted to use these paintings from Cats and Dogs, but I realized how expensive they were per piece. So I took them out of the primary bedroom, replaced it with something from a gallery wall. Then I realized I didn't have enough money, even though the life and death bed was so pretty. I exchanged it for a bed from Horse Ranch, which is significantly cheaper, which gave us about 1,000 simoleons back so that we were able to use that for landscaping. I hadn't gotten there yet, but there isn't anything outside. But I went ahead and changed the table as well, just to bring in some additional wood tones and to also kind of tie in the wood from the coffee table in the living room with the table. Then I also wanted to put a sconce because the hallway was a little dark, and that's something that I didn't like about the last house, was that I felt like it was kind of dark, but we were working with limited simoleons. And I also remembered to put tile in the kitchen here, which I didn't remember to put tile in the last one. During the speed build, I actually noticed that before we went into the tour, or afterwards rather, I think. But anywho, so yeah, I'm coming out doing landscaping just because, like I mentioned, I really didn't want to have to deal with any debug. So now, with the money that we have left, I'm going in and adding some decor to the walls in the living room. I also switched that sofa to a 3-seater rather than a 2-seater because, like I said, I wanted there to be enough seating for at least the parents and maybe one guest. So yeah, I wanted to use those paintings from Cats and Dogs yet again, but instead of two, I just decided to use one, and I just scaled it up a little bit using the tool mod. I also grabbed a rug and placed that underneath the dining table just because I felt like we needed something to break up the space there. And then I'm also going to add one of those picture frames into the living room, one of the empty ones from Growing Together, because I don't know about you, but in my personal gameplay, I take a lot of photos of my Sims, and I like putting those up in the home for, like, like a realistic touch. Okay, so at this point, we're done with the inside and we're nearing the end of the build. So I'm just going to go ahead and do some terrain painting and some last minute landscaping, and then just meet me back here for a real-time tour of this build. Okay guys, so here we are into the game for a real-time tour of the build that we just completed. I will note that I did notice that these two plants were floating. So I went ahead and lowered those down with the tool mod. So now they look much better. Again, there's nothing really much on the outside just because we were working with limited funds on this build. So yeah, let's just take a peek inside. Oh, let's start outside. So I was able to get some chairs and a table out here. So that's a nice little addition. So perhaps when the, well, obviously, well, not obviously, but I stated in the beginning of the video that this family is pregnant. So, you know, as the baby gets older, they can come out here and watch the baby play. So that's pretty cool. Going inside, we have the living room. Okay, I still kept it pretty neutral with a pop of color, one pop of color. I'm trying to get out of that, but that was what I'm most comfortable with. So here's a shot of the dining room and kitchen area. Unlike the other build, I didn't forget to put tile on the backsplash here. Well, I forgot in the video, but I put it in after the fact. So on the gallery, it's going to have tile. In the video, it did not have tile, but that was last week's video. Let's talk about this week. Okay, so here is the primary bedroom. Okay. Limited art, but again, we were working with limited funds. So here is the bathroom. It's a pretty simple 3x2 layout. And then we're going to go out of there into the baby's nursery. I know the walls are blue, but I still tried to keep it neutral. I mean, it could be for a boy or girl either way. My sister loves blue, so her room was blue growing up. So I don't put like colors on people. I think I said this in my other video. My son loves purple, so it's not like a blue pink type thing. We love all colors. But anyways, so that is it for the tour. So I will leave off on an overhead shot and then I'll come right back to finish out the video. And that's a wrap for today's video. You can find this build on the gallery under my EAID, which is SirenaSimsYT. Check the description box below for all of the lot details as well as some other additional information about this build. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Also subscribe so that we can become friends. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Catch you in the next one. Toodles!